Behold the mid-century unicorn. Sleek, sexy, almost perfect. Except for this little bit of chipped veneer. Who hurt you? Don't worry, I've got you. Follow along as I fix it up. It's going to be gorgeous. I had my eye on this gorgeous mid-century modern chest of drawers for a while, but it was originally listed at $300. And let's just say that's not exactly a flip-friendly budget. 2 days later, I spotted it again, marked down to $150. Cha-ching! Still a little steep when flipping furniture, but I mean, look at these 3D oval drawer insets. I'd never seen anything like it, so I jumped on it. When I picked it up, it looked pretty good overall. It had a few minor scratches on the top, and one drawer was several areas of damaged veneer. The middle drawer was also kind of stuck. Now, one does not simply sand down delicate curved veneer like this, so I decided not to do a full strip and refinish. Instead, I went in with a less is more approach. Time-saving, resource-friendly, and honestly, less risky with those delicate curves. Step 1, color matching. I hit the worn areas on and around the drawers with my furniture markers. With these, it's always challenging to get just the right color, but I find if I put them on lightly and tap it with my finger or gently rub it with a paper cloth, I get a pretty good result. Then came the real fixer-upper moment, the chipped veneer. I pulled out the wood glue and applied it with my finger like the true pro that I am, and wiped it with a damp cloth. I clamped it down, but then remembered my trusty parchment paper trick. No veneer sticking to this clamp, thank you very much. Next up, 2-part Bondo to the rescue. I carefully filled in the missing spots, making sure not to spill over onto the good veneer. Because who doesn't want to spend the next 3 hours doing color touch-ups? Me. I had to do 2 layers in some spots. Then I sanded it down gently with a fine grit. Baby steps. I used refinish on all the drawer fronts, including those lovely curves. This stuff is magic. I tried to remove a handle to clean it, but it was basically welded on by the furniture gods. So I decided to leave it rather than risking damaging something trying to wrench it off. The other hardware got the crud cutter treatment, and I might hit everything with some rub and buff later. Meanwhile, I sanded the top with a 220 grit. The varnish was already failing, so I just wanted to clean it up without going full strip mode. This one's still a work in progress, but I'm loving how it's coming along. My original plan was simple. Fix a few veneer chips, touch up the color, and restain the top. I wasn't about to mess with stripping those beautifully curved fronts. Way too risky. So I got to work on one of the drawers with some 2-part hardening Bondo. There were 3 major chips, like can't unsee it type chips. Once it dried, I carefully shaved off the excess with a razor blade and then followed up with a fine grit sandpaper to smooth everything down. If you'd like to learn more about flipping furniture, download my guide. You can find the link in my bio. The veneer on this fantastic MCM piece is severely chipped here where it curves. I had used some Bondo, but on a whim, I'm going to try a new type of wood putty. I am generally a 2-part Bondo wood hardening girl. You might call me a Bond girl. Ha ha ha. But I'm trying some wood putty today because I find it can be a little tricky to get Bondo to lay nicely on these small spots. If you try to adjust it with your finger or a glove, it sticks to that and then it creates little peaks. And so I'm trying this, and my hope is that it is a little bit more forgiving in terms of being able to form it to the shape that I want. The instructions say to wear gloves, so I'm going to do that. And I don't know if you can see or not, but there are 2 colors of epoxy, and there are 2 different ingredients, if you will, and I believe that when you knead them together, it activates whatever the hardening agent is. So I'm going to do that. Thoroughly knead putty with fingers to a uniform color is what the instructions say. Okay, it says it has a 15 to 20 minute work life, and then it takes about an hour to dry, and then after that it can be machined, drilled, tapped, sanded, filed, and painted. painted. We're going to give it a try. I only need a small little area. I mean, that is a little nicer. I'm going to have to shave all that down, so that's not ideal. But I do like how I can form it very easily. I think if I had used this first, before I used that first layer of Bondo, it probably would have been better. I'm removing a little bit of the excess with my razor blade just to make less sanding later on. Okay, I have to say, I'm liking that application. It did take longer for this two-part epoxy to dry than Bondo normally does, but now I'm sanding it down with a fine grit sandpaper, being very careful not to damage the veneer in the surrounding area. Then came the fun part, color matching. I started with a base of lighter tones and slowly built up dimension using deeper shades, including some subtle dark grain lines to mimic that mid-century wood grain magic. Once the painting was done, I sealed just those areas with a mist of de-waxed shellac to lock it in and avoid any smearing. After that dried, I applied a super light coat of Restore Finish to the rest of the drawer front to even things out. And can we just take a moment? Because it's honestly hard to believe this is the same drawer. If you didn't know where the damage was, you'd never spot it. I'm feeling pretty pleased with myself, not gonna lie. I finished the day by adding a little rub and buff to the drawer hardware since removing it was a no-go. Just enough shine to bring it back to life. Today we're diving into sanding, staining, and sealing. I started with a carbide scraper on top. It worked like a charm. The old finish basically packed its bag and left. Now, because this was supposed to be a quick flip, and let's be honest, I've said that before, I only refinished the top. The sides and the drawers were in good enough shape already. For the legs, I did what I call a lazy sand, just enough to knock off the splotchy bits, then hit them with 2 coats of walnut stain to match the existing color. Now, I did have to add a little Bondo to a few places on top, and once I sanded that smooth, it was time to do some careful color matching so it would blend seamlessly. This color matching is tricky. From this angle, now I don't have the top coats on yet. It doesn't look too bad, but depending on your angle, like even this one is okay. But then when I come this way, the colors really jump out. Now, I have found that when I put 3 coats of polyurethane on there and sand in between, it gets sort of camouflaged in there. I don't like moving forward with it looking like this, but I've already touched it up twice, and I feel like it's as good as it's going to get, so fingers crossed. I added 3 layers of top coat, sanding between each one for a silky smooth finish. And here she is, the final result. This piece is absolutely stunning and totally unique. I've never really seen another one quite like it, especially with that curved front and the way the grain just dances across the top. That's one of the things I love about mid-century modern furniture. It's clean, elegant, and it doesn't need a lot of ornamentation to make a statement. The design is the statement.